Alright, y'all, so let me cut off this copyright. Basically, what's about to happen today is you guys are finna get a real life, real review from a real owner of a 2022 MK8 Golf R. Now, I need to go to Best Buy and pick up a new lens for this new camera. Got a new camera to do this content with so that all of the footage is always crispy, always flying fresh. So I'm making sure that I'm bringing high quality camera quality to you guys, as well as high quality reviews, mods, and just content, period. So you already know what to do if you want to come along for the ride. Until then, let me slide up to Best Buy. Let's go. Woo. Okay. So when this car was first given to all of these car reviewers, mind you, you guys, it's the same thing like what I do. I do tech reviews, and when people are giving units as borrowed units, their opinion can only be their initial impressions. It's not from like real ownership or real world usage per se. It's a certain amount of time. They can't even focus in. They just gotta rush out and get the content out, period. That's what it is. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. Now me, I've been living with this car and I've been living with this infotainment system and I've been using it. Is it the best infotainment system? Absolutely not. Could it be better? Absolutely yes. Is it as bad as every car reviewer made it out to be? No, absolutely not. The number one complaint kept hearing, we need knobs and stuff like that. I don't know, some of those people may have been from the older day. Listen, I like the direction that VW's going. They aren't fully there yet, but the full tech, full touch, it can work with some minor adjustments. Now, yes, maybe one physical knob or button to help make it a little bit easier because like the safety issue. And I can attest to that. Sometimes trying to do certain things, if you're not mindful, if you haven't memorized and gotten things set up, which I'll talk about in a minute, then you might end up taking your eyes off the road. So in the beginning, it's absolutely rough to use, rough to get used to, and not as safe in the beginning. But after a while, once you start to learn this infotainment system and understand it, you start to have a totally different perspective towards it. But as I said, I come from a tech background. I use smartphones that have this technology of touchscreen down pat. Again, I said this is not perfect. VW has a way to go with this because they're new to it, and I don't know if who they sourced this system or this touch or whatever from, but hey, y'all need to talk to like a Apple or a Samsung and get the plug from them, period. You know what I mean? The way that everyone tried to make it seem like it's so terrible and it ruined the car, no, it doesn't. How often are you interacting with your infotainment system? Let's be honest. Okay, turning up music, turning it down, that's very simple. Do that at the steering wheel. If I need somewhere to go navigational wise, you typically gonna do that before you pull off. But a lot of times I have not found myself needing to adjust and touch a ton when it comes to this infotainment, allowing me to have an ideal, decent experience, user experience. You know, I'm not giving VW a pass, but I'm not also going to just regurgitate what I think a lot of reviewers did was they seen the big reviewer say something, so the smaller reviewer, oh, there's a mosquito in here, hold up, player. I got him. Oh, wait, get out, bud. Yeah, so I just want to clear that up. I'm almost at Best Buy. I gotta grab this new lens I'm getting for this camera right here, so I can get some butter. If you don't know what butter is, that's that depth of field, that bokeh if you're into cameras and things like that. Also, when I want to take photos with this new camera, I bought a new smaller camera for this conversational vlogs in the cars and just car content in general that's cleaner than the GoPros. Now, the dope part is during this review, I'm gonna cross 1,000 miles. I'm at 995 miles. This car is not broken in until 1,000 miles. So that means on my way back to the location where I'm gonna start filming some like, I'm gonna put the GoPro outside the car. Yo, this car was not supposed to go, yo. Like, you gotta learn how to drive with your dumb, just a stop sign, like, yeesh. Bro, I got the right of way. So let's go get this lens, y'all. See, let me pull y'all off this mount. See, I got the new mount set up and everything. Hey, yo, I see a couple trying to squeeze a TV into that little car right there. Yo, this is why you get a MK8 Golf R, because you would have had a better chance with the hatchback, man. Hatchback's like, the sedan life is cool, but we in hatchbacks. Let me put my mask on and go over here. the camera section. I need a lens. Do you?
So we don't have a DI expert on staff, unfortunately.
I don't need an expert. I know what I want. I just need to buy it. All right, gang, we just picked up the new lens right here. 22 millimeter with that f2, baby, so we get that butter and that bokeh. Hey, man, y'all remember that couple I was talking about earlier with the TV? You know, it looked like they gonna have to, they calling somebody for some help because they ain't getting that TV into that sedan car. Hey, man, see, hatchback, baby, fold down them seats, man, lay that joint flat, you good to go. Golf R for the W in that sense. So what I'm gonna do is I'm about to test out this lens right here, right now. Woo! Nice small pancake lens too. Look at how little that lens is, baby. That's what you want. Y'all chilling? Y'all look like y'all chilling. All right, so we got the ND filter, 43 millimeter. A lot of content creators out there who don't really know about cameras and stuff. They just, you know, put the joint in auto. I mean, hey man, I ain't complaining because they run it up. A lot of them getting more viewership than I have just doing this tech snob, high quality camera crap. So I got mad respect for them. So I'm about to swap this lens on in here. I'm gonna put it up in the little talking head spot. We're gonna see how close it is and how buttery it is and see if I like it or not. All right, y'all. So as you can see with this lens, everything's a lot closer, but it's just gonna be a little bit more sharper. I don't know if I want this to be the talking angle. I kind of like the wider look that I get out of the kit lens. I'll catch up with y'all in a minute. I'm gonna listen to some music and roll. You feel me? Forgot I was in manual. I was revving, redlining like a mug. Damn. All right, we at 998, baby. Let's go. Let's cross 1,000 miles together. Ooh, happy 1,000 miles, baby. All right, fam. I'm at this little spot. I'm about to put this on the car. All right, y'all. That's my protection. All right. That is recording, getting the shots that we needed to get from the exhaust. All right, we got 3 angles for you guys while I talk that talk. Woo! Let's talk about the 2022 MK8 Golf R, the sleeper car of 2022, I think, by far. This thing is packing an advertised 315 horsepower, but it's doing more than that. It's doing I think 20 horsepower more than that. So let's call it a 335 horsepower. I've seen people clocking 4-second 0 to 60s in this car. Listen. This car is a joy to drive. This car is multifunctional. This is the car that is the top of the line in the VW class of the Golf's hatchback, sedanish vehicles. By far, the best sleeper car. The best when you're a male and you gotta get a family car, you gotta have room for the kids, but when the kids aren't there, you can live type of car. That's what this car is. And even if you don't have kids and you're just an enthusiast, it'll give you that as well. So little pops and bangs. This car gives you such versatility. You know what I mean? Paddle shifter, DSG, dual shift automatic transmission. For those of you who don't know, basically the best way to put it, why some people will go automatic over manual and you will want the DSG, is dual clutch. So while you're in first gear driving, it's already in second gear. All you do is say go to second gear, it's already in gear. So the lack of that, you know what happens with manual when you gotta shift and all of that shaking and all that, that's non-existent. It's already there. That's why it's the fastest automatic system that you can get on a common vehicle, in my opinion. You know what I mean? You have to get the dual clutch, DSG, whatever. A lot of different companies have their version of it, but it is the ideal automatic transmission. Woo! Hold up. Oh man, we popping it, banging right now, yo. This car is a driver's car, and if you want to have that super driver's connectivity, you have the option of getting a manual in the North American region. Me personally, I'm all about the dual clutch transmission because of the very reason I explained to you. I can have this manual-ish feel with paddle shifters. And then I can just throw it in automatic when I just want to chill and be calm, cool, and collective. Another great thing about that is we have the DCC adaptive, modes where I could be in comfort. I could go to sport, or I could go to race. And even beyond race, I can go in a special mode, which is like the Nürburgring, whatever you say, you know what I'm trying to say. Basically like all out race mode. Like, this thing gives you so much capability, functionality, and how would you say it? It's so, how do you say it? Multifunctional. That's why I love this car. And it's still luxurious to a degree. Now, granted, they kind of slacked out on the interior. When I get to a stopping point, I don't know if I'll do it today, in this review, I will stop and get into the interior, or that might be a separate video where I break it down for you guys. But you got Napa leather seats, bucket seats with a little bolstering and whatnot. They're not the most bolstered, the most super sporty seats, but you got Napa leather seats. You got a Napa leather steering wheel. You have a high quality German vehicle. Now, I love German cars. My first German car was the 2013 GTI. See, I'm driving down a nice road, nice neighborhood where you're gonna see some nice cars and things like that. Perfect place to do a review. Another great thing about this car, as to why I picked it, is the all-wheel drive system. This is my first all-wheel drive car. As you see, we hitting this turn, and we can hug and turn and go anywhere we want to go with it, especially if you have a multi-condition weathered location. I'm in the Midwest. We get snow. We get hot. We get a little bit of everything. Oh man. So, having our four wheels planted with this much power, pulling you whatever direction you choose for this car to go, is another thing that I love for sure about this here Golf R. Now, the front wheel drive GTI was fun in itself. I had an automatic DSG in that car, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it, right? Hold on, let's hit this turn. Hold on. See, hit this little turn at nose 15. Look at that. All-wheel drive system handled that super duper. Super duper well. I haven't been able to get in this car and do the do yet, which is why I'm out here today for the first time experimenting and playing with it and trying to learn its limits while I talk to you guys about why it's such a great car and what I've enjoyed. Now, my first month of driving this car has been pretty normal because I was in the break-in period. So I can speak to this car from its functionality and practicality standpoint like a lot right now. This car is absolutely smooth, comfortable. I'm used to a stiffer suspension, right? Because I had the GTI I had the GTI before, which gave me no options. In this car, I have the options. So this car having its settings and its different, you know, suspensions and things like that is even more pleasant to me. Although, here's the funny thing. I can adjust how stiff or how soft the ride is, yet in my custom mode, I have my DCC suspension set to race. My steering set to race. This car is pretty much all set to race in my custom mode except for the drivetrain, which I keep it in sport for the drivetrain. Because I'm not just trying to go crazy hard on gas just all of the time. But a lot of times I'll jump up out of that sports drivetrain, switch it into, you know, a more racing drivetrain just to have fun and make some noise, which is what I'm about to do. I'm literally about to, actually, I'm gonna pull over and I'm gonna make sure that my GoPro is still on the car. Woo! GoPro's still on the car. We chilling. We about to switch it to full on. Oh, I think I am in race mode. What mode am I in? All right, I'm in race mode. So right now I'm about to switch it to the special mode, the Nürburgring. We in Nürburgring, baby. So let's get it. So, in all reality, this is probably one of the most practical sports cars that you can get before you start jumping into the Audis and the Benzes and Porsches and things like that. They're all in that same, you know, like family of German cars. It's just different levels. This has the exact same engine as the Audi S3. And then the next level up in the terms of that conversation would be like the Audi RS3, which is a car that I've wanted for a while. The only reason I did not get the Audi RS3, which I explained to you guys before, is just availability, timing, and these crazy markups. Woo! Pops and bangs, baby. Pops and bangs. There's a lot of power in this car. A lot of understated power in this car. And when you get to modding and tuning, which is another option that's available with the MK8 Golf R, like other sports enthusiast cars, you can take this car to a level that you want it. Like, woo, woo, woo. Oh, uh-oh, I just redlined. Oh, I just did something bad. Okay. I just treated my car very bad. I'm sorry. I just did something so wrong. Such a rookie mistake. But I was trying to play around with something, and that was my bad, you know? All right, let me bring down the engine. Let's tone it down a bit. I'm over here about to break my car, literally. Trying to record and film and do this review. But I will say this, you guys. There's so many great opportunities for potential and growth and horsepower and experience and drivetrain within this car. That's why I love it. I love what VW has created for the sports car enthusiasts in this car. So I will say this, when you're in the Nürburgring mode, you can redline this car. I literally just redlined the crap out of this car just now. So I just want you to know that you can redline this bad boy if you put it in the Nürburgring special mode. Something to think about, cause let's switch our modes, cause we see the boys. We going to the custom modes. We just saw an unmarked boy. The boys is the popo, for those of y'all who don't know. And they were in an unmarked car. I don't want no problems, you know what I mean? If you rolling around unmarked, you out here trying to catch some people slipping, you know what I mean? So we just had to switch up out of the Nürburgring mode. I didn't want to drive by them being too loud and obnoxious. Let's go back into race mode. It's set up to satisfy a lot. Now I will say this car is not the loudest car, and that's why they're sitting here pumping fake audio noises to you, which is why I like my custom mode, because in custom mode I can put the exhaust sounds to pure, and that's definitely all I want. I don't want to hear the fake noise until I get it deactivated permanently. I'm sitting here like, yo, I'm rolling custom the majority of the time because I don't want to hear it. But the next move will be for me to get intake to get more of that turbo spool, little tss and all that, and hear the turbo noises a little bit more effectively, which you already hear them in this car. The Golf R is not as restricted as the previous Mach 7.5 and Mach 7. It's a lot more open. So I'm gonna get an intake for this. I've been looking at one. I'm looking forward to putting an intake on here. And then the next thing we're gonna do for audio satisfaction is we're gonna put catback exhaust system on here. I already know which catback exhaust system I wanna go with, because there's one that's a company that's like really renowned in that space. Actually, they make a lot of OEM mufflers, and a lot of you guys don't even know it. So like your OEM muffler on your sports car is more than likely made by this company. So why wouldn't I go with their aftermarket? Because they understand these cars as they're producing for them. So that'll be the next thing that you can do for audio. So we're gonna do intake, catback, exhaust. And then there's this next piece that you can get to go even further in that world, and that would be the downpipe, but then you're gonna need a tune and things like that. So we're still waiting on the tunes to be unlocked for this car so that we can start tuning crazy. So that's why I'm kind of bouncing back between aesthetic, a little bit of engine. Aesthetic, a little bit of engine. So the next thing we're doing is an aesthetic mod, which will be lowering the car so that we get a better look and visual appeal with these new wheels. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it, but the intake might be the next thing. Listen, what do you guys want to see next as far as the mods? You guys want to see the intake, the catback, the wrap, the lowering springs? Let me know down low. Gotta love this car. This car sounds great and amazing, and we're gonna make it sound even better and then even more amazing, and make it look even better and even more amazing. That's the beauty of the Mach 8 Golf R. And honestly, 1 month later, I'm excited. I do not regret this car. I paid a markup for it, and I did that because I knew the business move of me wanting to create this style of content on YouTube. So, you know, and I knew that the availability of this car was very slim to none. If I didn't put it in order well ahead of time, and I wasn't that up high on the list in line to get the car, I would be waiting a very long time to get in the car. I'm like, scratch that. I'm trying to get to the content. I'm trying to manifest my vision, which when I get like that, I just go. So I paid the markup, and I'm excited because as things and products are being released for this car, I'm right here ready to go to pull the trigger. I saw an intake get released from a certain company. I won't tell you guys because, you know, you guys got to be surprised and wait for the video, but there's an intake out for this car, and I'm like, okay, bet, let's get it. Let's get that intake. You know what I mean? So I'm finna place that order. And I just built a connection with a shop that does modifications and tuning. They got a tuning portion and the modification and builds and all that. Listen, and they specialize on VWs, Audis, Subarus, and things like that. It's a match made in heaven, and I'm looking forward to the content that we're gonna create it together, you know. So I'm super hyped. Hold on. This car is amazing for car enthusiasts. If you're a car enthusiast, there's no reason you wouldn't enjoy driving this car, especially as an everyday daily. And it's convenient as an everyday daily. And it does all that you probably could want in this tier of sports car. And granted, there's cars out there that are more powerful, more obnoxious, more crazy. And we'll get to those eventually, but we're gonna start right here on the Golf R. It's a great barrier of entry for me, like at this point in time. Like I said, I'm new to the car modding space. I haven't always been able to participate in this car world the way that I've always wanted to, because to be quite frank, I couldn't afford to at the time. But now